सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Hरि Om. Salutations to all. So the ninth mantra of Kaivalya Upanishad is what we saw. स एव सर्वं यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यं सनातनं ज्ञात्वा तं मृत्युमत्येति नान्यः पन्था विमुक्तये. So this is these three verses now, 9, 10, 11, these are all the vision of an enlightened person who has, through what we saw earlier, Vedanta Vijnana Sunischitarthaha Sannyasa Yogad. So through that process of Shravan Mana Nididhyasan, one has come to realize the oneness with the divine. And one realizes that all various forms of the Lord also are the same one infinite truth. So what is the vision of that person? That is what is being explained here. So ninth mantra was one we saw, that what was, what is, and what will be, all that is an appearance of one infinite consciousness. And having known that, one goes beyond death. Jnatva tam mrityum atyeti. Nanya pantha vimuktaye. There is no other path to this state of realization, is the only method for actual mukti, vimukti. Any other form of mukti, we will come back. This is Jivan Mukti, where one doesn't come back. There's only one way to know it, and that is to realize the infinite consciousness. So now, having said that, the 10th mantra, Sarvabhutastham Atmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani Sampashyan Brahma Paramam Yati Nanyena Hetuna. Those of you who are familiar with the Gita, this comes in the 6th chapter also, similar verse. Sorry. Sarvabhutastham Atmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani. Same expression there. Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. So, when it is said, that Gita is the essence of the Upanishads, in some of the places, literally the Upanishad mantras are also, some of the lines are replicated as it is. Gurudev used to say that Vedavyasji has shoplifted this mantra from the Upanishad and put it in the Gita. Shoplifting. So, Sarvabhutastham Atmanam Sarvabhutani Chatmani. Sarvabhutastha Atmanam. One who sees the same Atma in all. Meaning, One who sees that the Atma in me is the same Atma in all. Sarva bhutastham Atmanam. One who does not relate at only the physical level. When we look at each other, we look at each other from the standpoint, one at the physical level, then we can connect to the person. So at a deeper level is emotional level, intellectual level, with their emotions, with their thoughts, with their goals, with their ideas. Which level we are identifying ourselves with, at that level we will connect with the opposite person or the world, any other being also. This Mahatma is identifying oneself with the self, Atma. Sarva bhutastham Atmanam. Identifying with the self here, one sees all as also the expression of the self. And the self here is not different from the self in everywhere, in all the other beings. So that confusion people have sometimes. This is my Atma. My Atma is purified. I get mukti. What will happen to other jivas? Nothing will happen to all of them. There is only one Atma. Atma in each individual is not different. Sankhya philosophy and other various other schools and other religions also, some of them will believe that Atma of each one is different. Atma is not different. Atma is one infinite consciousness. If it is different, it will limit each other. It will become perishable. And that is not Atma. So Atma is one infinite consciousness. Sarva bhutastham Atmanam. Same Atma is in all. Oh, has it become that many parts? No. It is one Atma appearing in all. Indivisible it is. It is like the sun. One example, there are different examples one can give, but one example is the sun reflects in 100 pots of water. Has the sun actually divided itself into 100 pieces? No. The same sun reflects in all 100 pots. Sun is only one. But in some pot, the reflection will be steady, clean, clear. One can see bright reflection. In some, it will be little muddy. Some place the water is disturbed. Same way, Atma is same in all, in the sinner and the saint also. Same Atma. No difference. नहीं ये तो दुष्टात्मा है दुरात्मा है अरे that is the mind which we are talking about then. The negativities are in the mind. Atma never gets affected by anything. Atma is purest, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. If somebody thinks that, oh, this Atma of mine has got pure, impure, now I have to purify this Atma. Mind has got impure, mind can be purified. Atma untouched. No matter how much one may have impurity in the mind, Atma is untouched. Oh, then why should I even do any sadhana? That is because this untouched Atma, infinite consciousness, can't be realized when the mind is impure. So Atma is one. Sarva bhutastham Atmanam. So when one realizes the truth, somebody asks, Swamiji, is it not very selfish to realize I want my mukti? When the world is going through so much of trouble, I should serve the people, I should help them out, but I am withdrawing from that and now trying to attain mukti. And if I get mukti, I may be freed from all problems, but what about the others? Is it not very selfish to attain one's own mukti? There is nothing called one's own mukti, there is only mukti. Because a false notion that I have become this jiva. Freedom from that false notion is mukti. Freedom from this I and mine is mukti. So there is nothing called my mukti. Freedom from my is called mukti. Freedom from I is called mukti. And when one drops that small I, one realizes sarva bhutastham atmanam. There is only one Atma which is the same in all. Body, mind, intellect is different in each one of us. but Atma is the same in all. So Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam. And Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. And all the beings are in the Atma. Meaning what? Because sometimes one thinks that Atma is one small little thing inside me somewhere. Oh, my Atma. Beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the intellect, one small little thing somewhere in the heart, deep down. No, no, all the beings are in the Atma. If Atma is one small little thing inside that, how will other beings be in that? So that is to dispel this wrong notion that Atma is some small thing inside somewhere. Atma is all pervasive. And second is this line, first line is to say absolute oneness. When we say all the waves are in the ocean and the ocean is in the waves, then it means what? Ocean and waves are not different, they are one. There is no difference between them at any level. They both are only water. Water is in the wave, water is in the ocean, ocean is in the water, wave is in the water. There is no difference. We may say ocean, wave, all that. Those are expressions from equipment standpoint. One wave we say, and the whole collection we say is water, is ocean. But both are essentially one. There is only water. Same way, there is only one infinite consciousness, that is Brahman. Sarva bhutastham atmanam sarva bhutani chatmani. So there is absolute oneness. No difference at any level. If one sees difference at any level, then there is bondage. Mrityo samrityum apnoti ya iha nana eva pashyati. One who sees nana, nana means duality. Don't think nana means maternal grandfather. Confusion will happen otherwise. Upanishad says if you see nana, you will go from death to death. Don't see nana. Arey. Nana means duality. If even little difference, the mantra comes in the context of individuality and totality. Yadeva iha tadamutra yadamutra tadanviha mrityo samrityum apnoti ya iha nana eva pashyati. There is no difference between individuality and totality. What is here is there, what is there is here. Even at physical level, not only at Atma level. What is in the universe, 5 elements, is what this BMI is also made up of. And what this BMI has, the whole blueprint of the creation is inside here. Even science today says that no, every cell has the entire DNA to reproduce the whole body. The one cell has the entire blueprint for the whole body. So even from cellular level to the macro level, there is oneness. 5 elements level, there is oneness. Atma level, there is oneness. One can't see the difference. Differences are apparent, but they are not real. And those differences are because of Maya, because of the 3 gunas and Sattva, Rajas, Tamas combination. But actually, if you go to see, there is only oneness. So this Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam Sarva Bhutani Chatmani indicates that all the beings are in the self is in all beings. If you know the definition of the word Ram is also that. Ram means that bliss. Sarveshu ramante iti Ramaha. One who is in the hearts of all is Ram. And sarve ramante yasmin saramaha. And all of them delight in him. That is Ram, meaning in the bliss, in the state of bliss. So one who is in all the beings and all beings are in him is infinite consciousness. Gurudev used to give this example of the body, that how our vision pervades this whole body. Each part is different from the other, but our vision is I am this whole thing. So though there is a experience of duality, but in vision there is oneness. That is this vision of oneness. Sampashyan means that seeing very clearly. Pashyan means to see. Sampashyan, see very clearly. See clearly what? That there is only oneness. There is no difference anywhere. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. The Supreme Brahman. This is seeing with knowledge. That is a vision. With two eyes, what we see is the perceptible world, where we see the duality. Like we see the body with the eyes, we see the hands, the legs, the feet, the stomach, the lungs, all this we see this, okay, this body. But in the vision, Advaitic vision, which we have for the body is I am one. I pervade this whole body. That is called Sampashyan. Same way, seeing very clearly that all these beings are apparently different from each other in terms of what we have seen earlier, Sajatiya Bheda, Vijatiya Bheda, Swagata Bheda, the same what we call species, Sajatiya Bheda. There is difference in that. Like cow. So there will be Jersey cow and this Desi cow and all that, So same species, there is difference. Same way in human being, same species, there is difference. Somebody is Indian, somebody is American, somebody is African, whatever, Difference of all types of uh, classifications. Caste, creed, community, gender, economic status, nationality, at all levels one can see, oh, this is different from this is different from that. Sajatiya Bheda. Vijatiya Bheda, difference in different species. A dog is different, cow is different, human being is different, insect is different, bird is different. And Swagata Bheda is in oneself, as we saw different parts of the body. One who sees very clearly that there are no three differences, where there is no Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata Bheda, there is only one Brahman, Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. And that Brahman is supreme, Paramam. There is nothing greater than that Brahman. That infinite consciousness alone is that pervades everything. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. Yati Nanyena Hetuna. One experiences the divine truth. This is the method of realization. There is no other way. Oh, but earlier it was said that, if you know that which was, that which is, that which will ever be, that which is eternal, or knowing that you will become immortal and there is no other way. Now it is saying that, Atma and so all beings are in Atma. Atma is in all the beings. One who sees this Brahman, that person comes to realize that there is no other way. So tell how many ways are there? Each way you are saying there is no other way. This is no other way than this. Then you say next shloka, no other way than this. But both are one and the same. That which is described as Sanatana in the earlier verse is described as Brahman here, Paramam here. There is no difference. The way is only one. And what is that way? Drop the identification with the BMI. Come to realize I am Brahman, which was eternal, which alone is, was, will be, which is in the hearts of all. So if you see this line, this shloka, first line speaks about Atma, second line speaks about Brahman, which means both are one and the same. So first line is Atma, which is the enlivener of all the beings, individual equipments. Equipment actually, there's no equipments, equipment. And second line is about Brahman, which is a substratum of the whole world. That Atman which enlivens individual equipment is the substratum of the whole world. Atma and Brahman are the same, no difference. And realizing this, that I am that infinite Brahman, substratum of the world, and I am that very Atma which is enlivener of this BMI. I am not the BMI, the world is not real, its appearance is by itself. That truth, when one knows, that is the only method to realize the truth, to wake up. Na anya pantha vimuktaye, na yati na anyena hetuna. There's no other way by which one will come to know this. And so one has to experience this oneness. This shloka is also to be understood that when one experiences this higher state of consciousness, when there is oneness where one sees, of course, one will see the duality. It is not that realized person doesn't see duality at all. In samadhi avastha, yes, the mind has completely withdrawn. So even the experiencer is gone, experienced is gone, experience is gone, triputi is not there, nirvikalpa samadhi. So that is the experience in samadhi avastha. But when one is out from samadhi, one is doing vyavahara, will the person see the world or not? The person will perceive, but the internal thought process is this is apparent, this is not real. Brahman alone is the truth. And they see oneness, that one truth appears as all this. So the mind is filled with compassion. Knowledge will bring compassion, especially the knowledge of oneness, vision of oneness will bring compassion. Like we see now in the body, when there is vision of oneness, I am this whole body, then there is compassion, then there is love, there is no selfishness. Like Gurudev used to give that example, that if your calf is scratching, your hand will go and scratch the calf. The hand is not going to say, what will you give me? Why should I scratch? You are getting the scratch, irritating feeling, itching feeling. You scratch yourself. Why should I do? That question, what will I get, is not there. Why? Because the body, whole body is I. Itching in the leg is itching to me. And so hand will go and scratch there. Same way apply for anything, If let us say the head is hurt. Now immediately with the hands I have to go and apply something there. The hand doesn't say that what is this? Why should I apply? You are hurt. I am busy. The movement has to happen, so you go from your house to the office. The leg takes you there. The leg doesn't say that, Array, hands, you have to work. Why should I move? You go. On two hands you walk. None of those thoughts come. Why? Because I am pervading the whole body. So there is one vision. So selfishness is not there. And that's where love and compassion is. So you see so many Mahatmas, how they live. So, they see the vision of oneness. They are engaged in service of the society, removing the sorrows of people, sufferings of the people at all levels. Physical level, serve. Patriotic level, cultural level, revive the culture, share spiritual knowledge, open schools, colleges, hospitals, orphanages, temples, so many ways. Why? Because we are all one. There is no difference. This is our Sanatan Dharma. And this is Sanatan. This cannot change. What? That there is only one truth. Everyone is an appearance of that one truth. So we don't have any conflict with anybody in this universe. We worship all as appearances of the one truth. Now, same example of the body. If some cell becomes cancerous and tries to destroy all the other cells, expands too much, uncontrolled multiplication happens, and then the body is to be destroyed, then that part has to be cut out. That also is an act of compassion only. One should not say that is destruction. Array, if that is not done, the whole body will get destroyed. It is compassion towards the whole body. If you say that, that's why Gurudev used to say this is misplaced compassion. Arjun feels, how can I kill my own people? Array, they are doing adharma. There is no other method now, you have to destroy them. All means of treaty and peace have been tried and tested. Nothing is working. And they have imposed the war. Now I have to kill. There is no other solution there. No, but I have to be compassionate towards them. If you are compassionate towards them, they will finish you and they will finish the society. If a cancerous cell is allowed to thrive in the body, the whole body will die. So it is injustice to the body. Trying to be compassionate to one group, you are doing injustice to the majority. So we should never confuse vision of oneness and compassion with cowardice and inactivity, or not or self-defense. One should not confuse that. Compassion has its own place, vision of oneness has its own place, and where one has to fight it out and one has to destroy certain dharmic forces, one has to destroy them. You can't mix up both these. That clarity we must have. Somewhere we lost that clarity. So, sampashyan brahma paramam yati nanyena hetuna. Now, in the state of meditation, of course, one experiences a oneness, and then when one comes out of that state, also that vision continues. But only difference, as we saw, is perception of the duality will remain. But in the vision inside, there is no psychological differentiation. This is superior, I am superior, he is inferior, she is inferior, that person is greater. Those are all psychological identifications, and we create this egoistic evaluations of ourselves and others. That is gone from the mind of the Jivan Mukta. So the experience of the enlightened being is oneness. Vyavahara, of course, one will do appropriately. One will not treat a small child in the same way as one treats some learned scholar. Because both of them need different treatment. Then only we can connect with them. One can't talk to them in the same way. Why? Atma is same in everybody. So we will talk in the same way to all people. If you start doing that, people will run away from you. Then you will be ekameva advitiyam. Nobody will be around you. So that's not what is said. What is said is experience is of oneness. Externally, vyavahar will be different. But there is no superiority, inferiority, self-evaluation in the egoistic way. All that is gone. So the sensitivity, compassion, love, service, selflessness, all that happens. One does not serve out of the need for purification of the mind. One does not serve out of the need for recognition. One serves because we are one. The deepest vision of service is vision of oneness. Where there is oneness, there is love, there is service. And that service will further reinforce the vision of oneness. It will go together. But where there is vision of duality, then the selfishness will come, and that will pollute service also. And so here, that's why it says here, Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam. If you see like an example, Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam, one example given is like the pot. This comes in Dakshinamurti Stotram. The pot with holes, and there's a lamp inside. So when there's a lamp inside that pot, now that light will come out of various holes. Nana Chidragatodara Sthita Mahadipa Prabha Bhaswaram Jnanam Yasya tu Chakshuradi Karana Dwara Bahispandate Janamiti Tamaiva Bhantam Anubhat Yetat Samastam Jagat Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshina Murtaye. So the example is given is like that, is of a pot which is inside the lamp which is inside the pot with holes. Light will come out of that. In the same way, this is a body is like a pot which has all these holes. How is this functioning? The light emanating from the pot is not belonging to the pot. It is belonging to the lamp inside. If somebody says a pot is giving light by itself, how stupid will that be? We are doing that. This body is functioning on its own. Which Atma, what Atma? There is no Atma. Show me if Atma exists. impossible to show. But the truth is, this will not function without that Atma. Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam. So that Atma is the enlivening factor. Eyes are able to see, ears are able to hear, nose is able to smell, tongue can taste, skin can touch. All this is happening. Why? Because there is Atma which enlivens this body, mind, intellect. Then only they will function. Acha, so each Atma, so each one's body is like a pot, and each one inside the body there is one lamp. So one may think that the lamp in each one is different. So that analogy one should not confuse. That's an analogy for a specific reason. And that's why when it is said Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam, then it said Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. All the beings are in the Atma. So Atma is not one small little thing inside us, and Atma is not that which is different in each one of us. Some philosophies believe like that. The Atma of the ant is small, Atma of elephant is big. So the Atma size depends on body size. Interesting, no? That is. How is Atma size dependent on body? Then it is changing. Then it is not Atma. Then what is the use of pursuing that perishable thing? We are pursuing that which is imperishable, and that is our nature. So, Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam Sarva Bhutani Chatmani. Sampashyan, one who sees very clearly the difference is not there. That Brahman one sees. So now Sampashyan also means to see that the Atma in me is Brahman everywhere. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. That Supreme Brahman alone is the self in me. So there is, I don't have to become that. With sadhana, I don't have to realize the truth which is not there. I have to realize the truth which is here and now, and that truth is infinite. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. So this infinite truth, once it is realized, then one is in bliss. Ups and downs of life will come, but one will not be affected by that. One will focus on service, love, compassion, sharing knowledge. Whatever prarabdha is there, that will happen for this one equipment. One is not identified with it anymore. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam. How long will that experience be? Sampashyan means how long do we feel the vision of oneness with the body? Does it last for a few days, only a few months? No, it is there throughout. We know I am this, but identified with this one vision of oneness, do we feel that at some point in time this vision of oneness will goes away, and then I don't feel I am this whole body, so I think my hand is not my hand? No, that doesn't happen ever. Example obviously has a limitation, but the point is this vision continues throughout. It is not something that comes and goes. So sampashyan, because that word sampashyan, one should not confuse that it's some experience that comes and goes. One sees Brahman at all times. There is only one truth. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam Yatinanyena Hetuna. Now, having said this, one has to reflect, because the vision of oneness is actually our nature. We have confused ourselves to be this body, mind, intellect, and now we have bound ourselves with that false notion. So that false notion has to be destroyed. That is what requires reflection. And so there will be doubts which may arise that, how can there be only one? So much of duality and differences, and how is there only one? So one has to do mananam, nididhyasan, And so a very nice analogy comes now, which is the 11th shloka, 11th mantra here, which is symbolic of manana nididhyasana, through which our false identification with the body, mind, intellect will be destroyed. Because this vision now, sampashyan brahma paramam is said. Now, how to attain that sampashyan? So, sampashyan is attained when we do reflection, because um, there is no real difference. It is a notional difference. So, that notional difference psychologically that we are entertaining because of false identification, that has to be removed only through proper thinking, reflection, and contemplation. It can't, so nobody else can remove that. Each one has to do by oneself. So this process is depicted through one analogy of creating fire. In the earlier days, the matchstick is not there, and this chemical, all that is not there in that. So how do create fire? Fire is required for everything. Now, cooking also requires fire, ritual requires fire. You want to join two things, you require fire. Like that, so many things, fire is required. And so we have learned that how the fire was created through friction and flint stones, and the early caveman, etc. How they produce fire. In our culture, it is said, the Vedic culture, the Upanishads, and even the Veda mantras, they will say that fire is fire is dormant in wood. And so this wood, if you churn this wood in a particular way, fire will manifest. Arani manthana it is called, or agni chayana. Both mean the same. Arani manthan is done, one lower arani, one upper arani, one rod in between, and then you churn. Or agni chayanam, whichever you call it. So that analogy is given here, and with that analogy, it is said the fire that is created, in that fire of right knowledge, the wrong notions will be burned. So the notional difference has to be destroyed. It's not real difference. Wave and ocean, if I see them differently, is there really a difference? There is no difference. The difference is in my head. That wave only is the ocean. Same way, gold and the ornament. So this ornament, whatever, suppose bangle it is. Now the bangle is different, gold is different. Bangle is nothing but appearance of gold only. There is nothing called bangle actually. There is only one gold. One type of arrangement of gold you are calling bangle, one type of it you are calling necklace, another type you are calling as ring, and third type you are calling as a whatever waistband. It's all gold. No, this is bangle, that is nose ring, this is earring. One can call any name to it for functional differences and identification and utility value, but it is all gold. So if I see difference in my head between the gold and the bangle, it's a notional difference, because really there is no difference, and so that notional difference has to be removed, which is why the next mantra, 11th mantra, gives the process. Atmanamaranim kritva pranavam chottaranim jnana nirmathanabhyasat pasham dahati panditaha. Now, I don't know in your book if it is Chotararanim, the last alphabet in the first line. In my book, it is Erna with a small e, so Nim. It should be actually long E, big E, not choti E. It has to be badi E, big one. Uttara Aranim. If it is correct in your book, fine. But if you have an old edition, like my book is an old one, in that it is Anim, small ni. It has become Neem. So Atmanam Aranim Kritva, sorry. Pranavam cha Uttara. Give me one more minute. This, yeah, that's a mistake there, correct. See, Pranam cha Uttaranim. So sometimes people confuse, Aranim. So first word has Aranim. So Uttararanim. No, no, no. The Uttararanim it is big E. Atmanam Aranim Kritva Pranavam cha Uttararanim. The mantra says that. The printing mistake is there, so that you correct it. So what does this mean? Atmanam Aranim Kritva. Atmanam here is the ego, the lower self. See, that's why the word Atma, we have to be very careful. In the Upanishad, in what context the word Atma is used? Because Atma literally means I. Some places it will be the big I, the infinite consciousness. Like earlier what mantra said, na? Sarva bhutastham atmanam, sarva bhutani cha atmani. There the word Atma is the big I, infinite consciousness. In some places it will be like this, small I. Some places it will refer to body also. Some places it will refer to mind also. So we should not be confused about the usage. The usage depends on the context, proper we have to understand there. So Atmanam Aranim Kritva. Atma is the small I. Make that as a lower Arani. Pranavam cha Uttara Aranim. The top Arani. So Arani is a cup, wooden cup. U shape. U shape matlab is like a cup, regular cup. Atmanam Aranim Kritva. Like this, one cup. Lower cup is the individuality. Mr. So and so. Ahankar, Jiva, whatever you call it. Then upper Arani is placed like this. So lower Arani is facing the upper Arani. So upper Arani, lower Arani facing each other. What is upper Arani? Pranavam, Omkar, Uttara Aranim. And in between there is a rod which is holding both these Aranis. Otherwise the upper Arani will fall. So this upper Arani is held, lower Arani is held, and then there is one rod in between and one is doing churning. Put a rope around that rod and churn. Jnana Nirmathana Abhyasat. That Nirmathana, that churning is Jnana Nirmathana, is reflection, contemplation. What will happen with that? Fire will come out. When this friction is done, fire will come out. Some dry twigs, cotton, various things are taken which will catch fire soon. So that as soon as those sparks fly out when this churning is done, these dry twigs and cotton etc. is taken and that fire is caught and then we put it in the Havan Kund or wherever we want to establish the fire. So that is called Agni Chayan, Arani Manthan. Pasham Dahati Pandita. So with that fire, this Pandita, the wise person, destroys the bondage. That vision of oneness that was explained earlier is not experienced by us because of a notional difference in our head. That is the bondage in our head. That is destroyed by the right thinking. This Analogy I will take up in more detail in the next class. I'm just going to share here. Maybe some of you have seen earlier in some of the Upanishad classes that we have done, but once again, see it. It is very nice how this process of uh, creating the fire happens. I'm just sharing one video. So you may see a little bit of a difference in this, but the process is what you have to see. Understand the process. Um, you may not see one upper arani and that way, but there's a lower arani here, and then with the process of the wooden stick and the rope, the churning happens. So the churning process you will see. Earlier day they would have the same process with two aranis. That's why this analogy is given. Okay, 1 minute. See, there's a rod below, na? Those they have small holes. The wooden, not rod. We say the wooden. It's like a series of cups. Each of them has a hole, and they fix this wooden rod inside that, and now they will churn this. So instead of having two cups and holding them, a little bit of a modification in the technique, but the process remains the same, and how they will create this fire. And actually, they chant Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, all that while this is happening. This audio I've muted because somehow it is not audible properly. Now see here, that person is holding now from the top, pressure is being given. Same way, earlier days, arani would be held up and the arani is down and between is the rod and then one churns. And they have kept all this coconut husk. So that coconut husk will immediately catch the fire and then they will put it in the Havan Kund. Look at the amount of effort now in this. One person is holding the lower arani so strongly, otherwise that will shake, slip. One person is putting the pressure for the upper arani, and then the rod is in between, and the third person is churning. Look at the effort, how much effort, friction has to be generated, and then this fire will come. This is the symbol of mananam. We have to do mananam like this. Look at the effort required. See the person caught up speed now. How fast? What he is doing? See the fire now? Down it has started. The smoke has come. See, that fire which is manifested, now they blow and it will catch fire. The whole coconut husk, everything will catch fire. See, that's a small fan that he is using just to uh, ignite more fire. See the fire now, how bright. Now they have put the havan sticks, you see, for the, and they will use this fire now to do the actual ritual. So this is the traditional way in which the fire is created. This is called arani manthan. So now once you understand this, this is the analogy given, because in those times this was a very common thing that everybody used to do to produce fire. So using that analogy, it is said how a wise person destroys the notional difference and comes to abide in the state of oneness. That we will see in our next class. For today, I will stop here. There's a third class now. Today is a marathon. Then fourth class in the evening. Goes on. If any doubts you have, write down. Next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.